Champagne Friday again! Hi folks, wonderful to see you. Here we are with, well, doesn't need any presentation at all. Maison Perrier-Jüet, one of the greatest, one of the most famous in Épernay, in the entire Champagne, and Belle Epoque, one of the top 3-4 prestige cuvées. Why is that? Partly because the fantastic story with the anemones painted by Émile Gallé in the cellars together with the family. And you know, today if you go to Perrier-Jouët, where I stayed many times and even stayed the night many times in the most expensive beds that you have in the entire Champagne, Maison Belle Epoque is one of the true gems of Champagne. This museum with this tremendous, beautiful renovation is great. It's a lot of money put into it, but still it has not lost its soul. But back to the wines. What is Belle Epoque? Well, it started as a cuvée prestige that should enhance the style of Perrier-Jouët. Perrier-Jouët's always been, people say it's a Chardonnay house. If you look at the great proportions in most of the champagnes, it's more 50-50 house, but the vineyards, especially in Cremant, Avis and Cremant, but especially in Cremant, have been so strong, so among the best Cremants that you have in the entire Champagne. And since they have this and make blends with a rather light to medium bodied style, it will influence the entire cuvée despite the fact that the amount is rather small. So especially two plots, which are entirely in this one now, Bourgogne du Midi, Bourgogne-les-Rois. In the heart of Cremant, you see them as two of the steepest and biggest plots in Cremant, with really old wines. Used to be in the regular Belle Epoque and a little bit in the Rosé. Today it's purely in the Blanc de Blanc. So 1964, to the wedding of Duke Ellington, not wedding, his 70th birthday, that was only made in magnums, and then it was a jump, and that one is one of the best Belle Epoques ever made, together with the 85. And then a little bit later, they realized that they could also make a beautiful rosé with just 10, 11, as it is here, percent of Pinot Noir from Mailly. And suddenly they had something new, extremely romantic, and the color, of course, was so beautiful together with this clear bottle. And in '93, they created the Blanc de Blanc. Today, I have in front of me the most recent lineup, the 2014 vintage of the three. So I start with a regular Belle Epoque. 50% Pinot Noir, 5% Meunier from DC, and the rest Chardonnay. It's so classic. It's not one of the first champagnes you learn how to spot in blind tastings, but as soon as you've done it, it's very obvious. Because there is a cookie dough note and a powdery note, which is so special. It's a little bit of wild strawberries and cakes and meringue and things like that, but very powdery, together with all the more classical champagne notes. There is never any nuttiness, there is never any tar, there's never any very heavy notes. It's very much of this almost like a boudoir nose in the most beautiful, elegant Parisian way. Smoothness, the same kind of seamlessness as you have from the neighbor Dom Perignon. A little bit more of sweetness, but the sweetness is, I think it's 1 gram more dosage, but that's not the important part. It's how it's been blended by Hervé Deschamps at this time. And it's the creation between this very buttery and meringue-like Chardonnays. You get this kind of aromas. Beautiful balance, extremely long, very light at the same time, and tremendously romantic in its style. First time I taste the 14 Blanc, the Blanc. The two specific spots. It's intellectually extremely interesting as well to taste the three side by side, of course. There are some parts lacking from this perfect cuvée. If you think about this is exactly what Belle Epoque should be. But on the other hand, the richness, the beauty of the things that you have here, it's a little bit more like the Krug Claude Vanille, like a solo piece in comparison with the Krug Vintage. You have the same essence of Belle Epoque. You have this magnolia, you have this geranium, you have these lilies of the valley, very much white flowers dominating, and the fruit is lemon pie. And this pie notes, meringue, yeah, you see, there's a link, Sabayon. I'm a lucky guy. The mineral profile is slightly stronger, slightly sharper than most times when we taste it. Paul, who's taking the photos here, filming today, we shared a fantastic moment together with my son Henrik when we went to Mossman River, and that's the spot in Australia, a jungle photo where we're swimming across the river with a Magnum of 2004. 10 vintages later, we have the same kind of expression, slightly smaller, but even more refined. It's so clear, it's so bright, it's beautiful. Belle Epoque Rosé. The perfect champagne if you want to get married or tell someone that you want to do that. Ooh. The more times I taste new vintages of champagnes that I normally know, of course the base of knowledge becomes wider and broader, and here it's not a sensation at all because it tasted exactly like I knew it would. You have a little bit more of the mandarin, you have a little bit more of the nougat notes, definitely more orangey notes and more strawberries than the wild strawberries that you have in the Belle Epoque. Not the creaminess, not the butterscotchy notes that you have in the Blanc de Blanc. Which one should you drink? I think if you buy a bottle of the Blanc de Blanc, don't skip the others. Take all three, serve through a beautiful meal. And which one you should choose? Check in Champagne Club. So, guys, see you next Friday. Cheers!